Why?
Am I nuts to say that I missed you like crazy a lot? A lot.
Sorry about the rain.
No, I love it. I love your hair. I love your sign, Lily. I love you.
It was the most romantic confession I've ever seen. A gentle smile and a simple hug brought 120,000 people to tears for him. Before that though, the boy's life was a terrible one. Ever since his mother's death, the boy's heart had become darker than ever, which caused his words to seem unusually gloomy. The school was afraid that he would lead other children astray. So in the spirit of things to come, they ruthlessly expelled him. Luckily, he had a gentle and enlightened father who brought him out of the darkness a little. His father's name was Benjamin, and he was known as a good man in the area. So he was very popular with some single women, but he always refused their offers because he had to take care of his children. Since his wife passed away, he put almost all his energy on his two children, looking at his son's increasingly eccentric character. And that does not belong to the words of this age. Benjamin's heart is very uncomfortable, coupled with the neighbors are too noisy, often in the middle of the night to have a party, a serious impact on the children's life and learning. So he decided to give the children a good environment. However, due to the lack of budget, it is difficult to find a suitable house. It is difficult to find a preferred, but to buy the house with the additional condition actually is to take over the next to this has been closed down the zoo. So many animals need to be taken care of is definitely a lot of expenses. Benjamin immediately wanted to turn around and leave. But looking at his daughter so happy, he was a little hesitant. After all, in his heart nothing can be more important than letting the child happy. The janitor, a woman named Kylie, went to great lengths to tell Benjamin about the current state of the zoo, which was even worse than he had expected. At night Benjamin's head hurts looking at all the things he needs to buy to reorganize the zoo. But at the same time, his son Dylan meets an angelic girl named Lily, who is sweet and kind-hearted. She not only brings Dylan food every day, but also appreciates her paintings from the bottom of her heart. And the two of them soon become good friends who can talk about anything, and Dylan's heart is being healed a little bit. Benjamin, by virtue of personal charm, successfully attracted the administrator Kelly, but as usual, he turned a blind eye to Kelly's gesture of goodwill and was preoccupied with how to restart the zoo. But his beloved son Dylan, because of curiosity, and opened a box full of snakes, and because of fear did not lock it, hurriedly fled. The next day Benjamin saw snakes running around. He can now turn to the only Kelly, and so could only call Carrie. Packing just said Dylan 2 sentences, he will be. Like a powder keg as a little on the fire, Benjamin did not blame his son, because he knew that the death of his wife to his son caused a great blow. After unremitting efforts, the zoo is finally decent. But the censor is deliberately difficult, with a ruler everywhere measuring, listed a large number of unqualified places, and to rectify all these, and need a large sum of money. But Benjamin has no extra money. He was anxious to keep waving the air, but also a foot kicked over the barrels. This scene was seen by everyone in the eyes. All thought he was going to give up, but a few seconds later, Benjamin and the barrels obediently helped up. The corner of Kelly's mouth unconsciously raised a nice smile, worthy of being the man she had her eye on. But at this time, the crowd will not think. An even more outrageous situation is waiting for them. The man is driving to get money. A grizzly bear unexpectedly appeared in the line of sight, and even came to his car in front of the eye to eye. To confirm the eyes, the man's heart is very sad, because he recognized that this is the bear in his zoo. Benjamin rushed to call Kylie, and a few people immediately began to round up the action. But by chance, Benjamin even ran into a separate the bear, and took a step toward him. An anesthetic shot in the distance saved Benjamin in danger, but all kinds of compensation is still less, so that the situation is not rich. The night he was worried to drink, beautiful women sitting in front of him, but he was not in the mood to look at a glance. But Kylie was handsome by his daytime bravery in the face of the grizzly bear.
To Benjamin.
Watching everyone praising him gives Benjamin a little bit of solace in his heart. Meanwhile, Dylan is on the roof with Lily looking at the scenery, fingers slowly dancing above the flashlight, bright and dark light. The two people's hearts in a little closer. Benjamin also seems to have a slight favorable impression of Kelly. The two strolled under the stars, slowly talking about their own wants, and even at the end of the walk, Benjamin could not help but sigh in admiration.
I want you to know I think you're incredibly pretty.
Kelly smiled and said, since it is so beautiful, why don't you try to kiss me? In the face of such blunt and active, Benjamin but backed off, because he has not come out of the grief of his wife's death, but also afraid of not giving Kelly the happiness he wanted. Fortunately, the sky is the limit. That night he accidentally found a deposit slip. There are more than $80,000, which is his wife secretly for him to save the funds, in order to prevent the desperate day. Finance has been checked out. Benjamin has no money, the heart, and anxious and angry, said Benjamin will certainly sell this zoo cheap.
Benjamin Me is a fraud.
But Benjamin does not intend to do so. Although the accountant advised him to take the money and run, the zoo is a bottomless pit. The $80,000 will only hit the water. But in Benjamin's view, this is not just a zoo, but also carries Kelly and other staff feelings and dreams, as well as his and the two children's hopes and hopes. Lily heard everyone say that the Dylan family to go, so full of reluctance to say goodbye. But Dylan heard the news but looked very excited. Also said he can finally go back to their own home. Completely did not see Lily's trembling lips and disappointed eyes, because he felt that in Dylan's heart, simply do not mind if he parted ways. Benjamin, back to the zoo, hastened to open a meeting. He said that there is now money, although the number is not much, but enough to tide over this difficult time.
And if you stick with me, I will give this everything, but I will need everything from you, and we're going to reopen this zoo. It is the best job in the world, and it's gonna take everything to make it work. Don't give up on our adventure.
Well, it's good enough for me.
Me too.
Done, man.
After this meeting, the mood of the crowd was obviously much higher, and they encouraged each other to work together to give their share in building the zoo. But in the midst of all this euphoria, Dylan gets a little depressed as he realizes that for some reason, Lily is no longer coming to play with her, and straight men of steel are indeed born. A tiger is sick, and Kelly wants her euthanized because it's too torturous to live like that. But Benjamin is hoping for a miracle and gets into a huge fight with Kelly. And it's not until the evening that Benjamin holds Kelly's hand and says the real reason. It turns out that his wife's death, so that he instinctively do not want to face the life and death, and even find a new house to live, in addition to letting the child to leave the noisy environment, but also to allow himself to escape the memory of his wife. Kelly listened to the heartbroken. The man's favor more a point. At this time the son came over, said his favorite girl now does not take care of him. Do not know what to do. Benjamin immediately said his exclusive secret method. Do you believe that only 20 seconds, you can change a person's fate?
Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
This was the first time he talked to his father. During these days at the zoo, his heart was being healed a little bit, and he even changed his dark drawing style and drew a cute little tiger. After Benjamin found out about it, he immediately used this as the logo of the zoo, which was his affirmation of his son. Looking at his son's bright smile, he knew he was very close to success. As the day of the zoo's opening drew nearer and nearer, everyone was very busy, and the good news was that they finally passed the censor's harsh review, and everyone cheered happily. But a few days before the opening of the zoo, there was a heavy rainstorm. As if even the sky was against them, Dylan had been thinking about Lily in his mind. So he braved the rain to come out and look for them. He looked at the window with the words, "Love me, let me know" written on it, which echoed his dad's words of 20 seconds of insanity, and rushed over there in spite of it all.
Hi.
Hi. Got my nuts to say that I missed you like crazy a lot. A lot.
Sorry about the rain.
No, I love it. I love your hair. I love your sign, Lily. I love you.
Sometimes we are just one madness away from love. The day of the opening of the park originally depressed Benjamin. Suddenly found a sunshine shot in. He rushed to the window, opened the curtains, the sun outside the house, the river breeze, beautiful like a painting. He excitedly ran to call the children to get up. I did not expect Dylan that he was even happier. The youngest daughter is even earlier, on the staff dress, to go with him to meet the tourists. Kelly with the door frame, smiling like a flower. Everything is so beautiful. But what the crowd never expected is, from the time of the opening of the park has passed several hours, but even a visitor has not. So many days of hard work, at this moment seems to be a joke. Good thing Dylan did not believe in evil, ran out to check, surprisingly, found that the original is a fallen tree to block the road. They heard a commotion and hurriedly climbed up the tree to check it out, and that full of tourists was the best comfort for them.
Welcome, come on, we're open.
They greeted the visitors warmly, and all their efforts were not in vain. As the zoo gets better and better, Benjamin and Kelly's love is mended, and he finally has the courage to face his wife's passing head-on. He even brings his 2 children to the restaurant where he met her and slowly tells of his 20 seconds of madness.
Excuse me. Why would an amazing woman like you even talk to someone like me?
Why not?
We all have something to fear. Fear of loss, fear of embarrassment, even fear of having. But the windows that are closed due to these fears make us miss out on so much without even realizing it. Maybe being brave once in a while, it doesn't take long, just 20 seconds, can be a release for the repressed soul and bring us one step closer to happiness and success.